Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading. This is your January bonus reading, and we are the focus of the reading is going to be the fact that there are 10 conjunctions between the 6th and the 29th of January, and I'll explain that more in just a minute. You have this Fleeting Flare Path card. It says, something in your life will be brief, not meant to stay in your life forever. You have this Capricorn card that says, challenges. It says, it will not be an easy path, but if you build discipline, you will achieve your goal. So for you, this could be all about achieving some sort of goal or something that is challenging in your life. The first thing that's popping into my head, Taurus, for you is that for the past few weeks, it's like your readings have really been talking about like choosing to level up or doing something that will cause you to take your life to the next level. And so I kind of feel that's what the first part of this reading is talking about. Again, we have like 10 conjunctions in this month in January, which is crazy. I couldn't find another time where we had 10 conjunctions in the astrology in a month. So, pretty powerful. Conjunctions are the most powerful transits in the astrology. So again, this reading is going to be focused on what you should do, what you can do during this time, and how to take advantage of it. Conjunctions are positive. So, and on top of that, these are all pretty well aspected conjunctions as well. So again, it's definitely an energy you're going to want to take advantage of. You have the Five of Swords. This is coming up in the area of how you're entering into the reading. Again, I read the first card in a Celtic cross as your kind of like current position, how you're entering into the reading. The Five of Swords can represent separation or walking away from something. We look at it as a card of winning at all cost and things like that as well. To me, it can be a card of taking a risk as well. And you have the World, so this could represent you taking a risk in the world. And I do feel that that is kind of going to be a good thing for you. I definitely feel it's like a fixed sign thing going on. And it's funny that you have the World because the World has all 4 fixed signs on it. And, it's like the fixed signs are being asked to like put themselves out there in a new way. I think it's kind of simple. Like, it's like the answer is simple. I don't necessarily think the action is simple, right? But I think for fixed signs, it's about like letting go of something comfortable, basically. And I feel walking away from comfort zones is the thing that will probably make you feel more powerful during this time. And again, we have the Sun will conjunct Pluto on the 23rd of January, maybe the most powerful conjunction out of all 10. And, Pluto is power. And with the Sun, it's like you, even though it's happening in Aquarius, doesn't matter. So it's like one of those things where we could be, even if you're a Taurus, if you're watching this, or a Taurus rising or a Taurus moon or something. But, again, for pretty much everyone, it could be, doing something with how we take power, how we use power, and, all that other stuff. You have the World as your crossing energy. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. And again, I do feel like you have to take up more space in the world, as I always say to you, Taurus, or you have to put yourself out there in a bigger way with the World. The World kind of wants us to create our own world. This lady in the middle here, she is a sorceress, and she has these 2 wands. And one wand is like the magician's wand. The other wand is just like an action wand. So she uses both types of energy to create the reality she wants. And, I've been saying this for months now, that the end of Neptune and Pisces, which Neptune will leave Pisces on the 26th. So right before we have one of the last conjunctions on the 29th of January. So again, it's a very powerful time right now. And so I think that Neptune and Pisces going into Aries, it's not just the Pisces energy, it's the fact that it's also moving into Aries, I feel makes us need to, really kind of realize that we are in control of reality and we have to like take control of reality. And so I think a lot of people are being asked to do that at this time, Taurus, and I would do whatever you can to make that happen. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, a great card of gratitude, luxury, focusing on the nicer things in life. It is a card of heaven on earth, so creating heaven on earth. She has this snail right here, and the snail wears its home on its back, so it represents your environment. And a lot of you could be focusing on creating a nicer environment. I mean, you are a Taurus. Taurus is like the sign of the nicer things in life. The Nine of Pentacles is the card of having the nicer things in life, right? So a lot of you could be focused on, creating creating nicer experiences or having something nicer. Again, I always say, Taurus is definitely not about materialism. It's like Taurus, I think, would actually rather have less but nicer, if that makes sense. So, I think it's all about the quality for Taurus in a lot of ways. And a lot of you, I think this makes perfect sense for the next several years, that you are going to be focused on improving the quality in general of your life, but also the experiences you have, the things that you do. And so you might be choosing less to have better experiences. And again, obviously that's not a bad thing. That is a good thing, because it's like everything you do, and even like the things you buy and all that, they could be, they're going to be of better quality. So again, how is that a bad thing? Probably not. This is also, whenever the Nine of Pentacles comes up in the area of what's on your mind, she has this falcon right here, and the falcon is an animal that represents focus. So it's coming up in the area of what's on your mind, and it might be a really good time for you to stay focused on like the things that are really important to you. I would actually change it a little bit and say, with the Ace of Wands here, this could represent really focusing on your inspirations or things that are very exciting to you, or things that bring in a lot of like desire into your life. Ace of Wands is the card of desire. Next, in the area of your foundation, you have the Empress, which is you, Taurus. Whenever you show up as yourself in a reading, it puts you in a position of power and strength. So this is really good. I really love when people show up as themselves in the foundation, because it kind of says like you are supporting, this is the position that supports the reading, and it's like you are the one that is supporting your reading. The whole entire reading is asking you to create your own reality, or kind of be the one that's in control of reality. So this basically says that you are. And it's also great for abundance. So there could be an opportunities for you to really like set yourself up for more abundance. We're going to look at how you can do that in just a minute, but I do feel a lot of you are doing that. I think it's really interesting that, again, and you have the Hierophant over here. It's kind of hard to see. Sorry, it's like off camera. But you have the Hierophant over here also like supporting the reading. This position where the Hierophant shows up is the area of your next few months. But, it's kind of funny that both are your card, basically, and, they're both kind of supporting the reading. Next, in the area of your past position, you have this Message in a Bottle card and this Yang energy card. The past position is the energy that you are moving past. So the Message in a Bottle card could represent like waiting for messages, or waiting to receive a message, or waiting for permission, which is more what I feel for you, Taurus, is like for a long time, I think you've been waiting for permission that just hasn't shown up. Again, the World, Nine of Pentacles, Empress, all three of those cards would give themselves permission. So the only person that can give you permission is yourself. The Yang energy card is like the Ace of Wands. It's like the start, the spark of hope, the spark of inspiration. So a lot of Ace of Wands energy going on here. You have the Six of Wands also showing up in your past position. Six of Wands can be a victory or success or standing out in the crowd. And I do feel that some of you have been like hoping to have a victory. You have the Temperance card in the area of your very near future. And again, I think the Temperance card is talking about how you can create your abundance, which we'll talk about more in a second. But just, really, I think this is saying that you're about to try something that kind of worked again. So, if you did something in your recent past in work or business or anything having to do with any type of abundance, doesn't have to be money, could be anything, then I feel pretty simply this is saying that you're about to try whatever that was again. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this first house. It says arrival on it. You have the South Node. It says past on it. Yes. So again, like I said, I think you're about to try something again from the past. The South Node right now is in Virgo. You have the Temperance card here. South Node in Virgo is like the problem with the South Node in Virgo is that we try to be too perfect, and we can wait for things to be perfect before we do something. But basically that'll never happen. So you also have the Temperance card here. The Temperance card, he's trying to turn water into wine, but there's this path right here. This is the path to glory. He could easily go claim his crown, and he could have success. So the Temperance card kind of says, like, what are you waiting for here, Taurus? And it's coming up in the very near future. So if there's something you want to accomplish, I feel the Temperance card is saying it's time to, like, get off on that path. It's time to go claim your crown, or, it's time to go claim that victory, or, achieve that goal. And to stop waiting. And again, if you're thinking about doing something again in your life, that could have been like a past success, it kind of feels to me like you have had a certain level of success with that Six of Wands, but it's like you know that you can do more, And I feel like the Temperance card is basically saying, yes, you can do more here, Taurus. So it's time to, pedal to the metal here. It's time to hit the gas hard. And I feel if you do that, you won't be disappointed. Next, in your outcome row, you have this card that says it's time to release negativity. You also have this card that says it's time for healing. Yes, I mean, the end of the, the beginning of the year here. Today, I don't even know what today is. Today is January 3rd, so this will be published on January 4th, obviously. And what I would say here is that, the end of last year, right into the beginning of this year, is a really good time for healing. Major focus on people needing to avoid negativity as well. Pretty much everyone has, not only in these readings, but like even in the 2026 readings and the January readings, had these cards of like really needing to protect your mindset. I think we're entering into a time of a lot of distractions, just in general. Uranus and Gemini. Uranus won't enter into Gemini until April, but it's already been there. And, it's Uranus and Gemini is weird for me. I just feel intuitively, it's like so good. Because Uranus loves Gemini. Uranus is a higher octave Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini. But, like I said, I also think there is this, like, very rebellious, against the grain energy. That's what we should take advantage of. We should be rebellious. We should be against the grain. We should be sticking out like a sore thumb if we want to get attention or something else. But, I also think we could see this in the world. And, it could be very distracting. So, again, I think we need to focus on what we pay attention to and make sure we're not only paying attention to the negative, needing to make sure that we're not getting, like, too down on ourselves and things like that. You have the Hierophant in the area of your next few months. Again, very positive because, the Hierophant is you. So you're showing up in a strong position over the next few months. Kind of makes sense because, again, it's going to be a few months before Uranus finally leaves your sign. And, Uranus finally getting to the end of Taurus, it's like you're finally able to, kind of implement all those lessons you learned from the past many years. And you're able to, kind of like put it into practice and take advantage of it. For you, as always, it's about building and leaving a legacy. We don't see that here in the reading, but it doesn't matter. That's what it's about for Taurus. So, a lot of you could be doing things to improve your finances, your wealth, your security, whatever you want to call it. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, this is all relationships in your life, not just love. You have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, Empress, Nine of Pentacles, kind of like saying to me the most important relationship you have is to yourself. So, she nurtures her heart. She has this big cup. I always say it doesn't even look like a cup. It looks like a trophy. And so she values what her heart is telling her to do. I don't know, ever since Uranus entered into Taurus years ago, your main theme of all your readings has been to like learn to value yourself more. And so, I think that is the most important relationship that we all have. But it's going to be really important that you nurture yourself more right now, Taurus, especially at the end of Uranus and Taurus, and that you take care of yourself and like listen to whatever your heart wants. I think that's the thing that's going to lead you to the most success. You have the Ace of Wands next. We also have Neptune leaving Pisces. The thing with Neptune and Pisces is to do something, to do anything with our lives, we have to be inspired to do it. The problem is, to be inspired to do it, we have to get inspired first. So it's like a little bit of a mind effort, right? Because it's like to get started in the first place, you have to feel inspired. But to feel inspired, you have to feel inspired. And so it's like a little bit, we have to like search for that inspiration. And we also have to realize that we might not feel inspired to do something, but maybe we should try it to see if the inspiration comes. And, the Queen of Cups, she goes out and she says, these are the things my heart really wants. And, I'm just going to try it and see what happens. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I've talked to many people who say, I don't know what I want to do in my life. But it's like when I really talk to them, they do know what they want to do in their life, but they just think that it's something that like can't make money, or they think that it's something that won't support them. And it's like, no, you do know what you want to do. You're just like putting these, attaching things to it. And so I think the Queen of Cups wants you to think long and hard about that. You have the Ace of Wands in the area of your future feelings, which is amazing. Ace of Wands is literally would be feeling inspired, feeling excited, ready to start something new. The Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new. So I feel you have some new desires and inspirations coming in for you here, Taurus, that are going to be guiding you towards like bigger and better things, or, new projects or new things to work on. And, that's exactly what I would focus on with the Ace of Wands. I also feel that you could be getting more into your creativity. I feel a very specific message here as well. If you are feeling stuck in work or business, whatever you do, I feel like it's because you're like trying too hard to do like what other people are doing. Again, I think the Ace of Wands is saying you need to like break the mold. You need to be a little bit more unique, or, it's like you need to kind of do things in your own way. It's almost like you've put yourself in too much of a box, and I feel like this is saying it's time to create your own box here, Taurus. Your outcome is the Devil. I don't feel too bad about this. Again, we're going to clarify in a minute, and we'll see what comes up on this, but maybe you have felt stuck, like I just said, like inside some sort of box or whatever. But the Devil, the chains around those people's necks hang down to like here. They could easily set themselves free, which is the whole point of the Devil, is that they can easily remove those chains from around their necks. And so I feel like the Devil here is kind of like saying that there are things that you can set yourself free from. It could be like other people's expectations, other people's ideas, and not your own ideas. I would be careful of the like what you think you should do, right? Sometimes I think when we are trying to accomplish something, or we're trying to do something in life, we think we should do certain things because that's what people tell us we should do. And that's what I feel like he is talking about. I feel like the Devil is like, no, maybe you shouldn't do what you think you should do because that's what everybody else does, and you need to be unique. With the Five of Swords in the World, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles, I feel for you. It's my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He's worked on something, and he's looking at it, and he's saying, was it worth it for me to build these Seven Pentacles, or is there something different or better that I could do with my time? And obviously, I can't answer that question for you, Taurus. You have to answer that question. But I kind of feel like he is saying, basically, with the Seven of Pentacles, things are, it's going to be obvious if you're working on something that's worth it. And that goes for everything in your life. And I feel like you just need to pay attention. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Two of Pentacles. Time to get to work, Taurus. Nine of Pentacles could be something that brings you, puts you in a position of gratitude and luxury, like an action that you could take or something that you could be building or creating. And I just feel like the Two of Pentacles is kind of saying get to work. He's the card of work hard, play hard, but I also feel he's just saying it's time to get busy here, Taurus. With the Empress, here you go. You have the Sun, which is amazing. The Sun basically says the sun is shining on you. The sun is going to make you stand out, is going to get you attention. So I feel a lot of you could be getting a lot of attention. Could be attracting a lot of things at this time. Empress for sure is very attractive. Now, this doesn't have to be love. It could be, but, it could just say that the energy you're putting out is attracting things to you. So, obviously with that release negativity card and everything else coming up here, I would just pay attention to the energy you're giving off. The world, that lady is at the center of the world. Again, she, on the world card, she is also, drawing energy in. So I think the easiest thing for you to do during all these conjunctions is to kind of pay attention to the energy you're giving out, because you're going to attract whatever it is back to you, and I would make sure it's positive. With the Six of Wands, you have the Five of Pentacles. I feel very good about this for you, Taurus. I feel that you are kind of like leaving behind financial difficulties. In a lot of ways, I feel that you're believing in yourself more financially, which is good. It's like, like let's say you have clients or let's say if you get to set your prices, for example, Taurus, I feel like in the future, you're going to be charging more. It's like you're believing in what you have to offer more. And that is the thing that is probably going to change your money. With the Temperance card, you have the Three of Swords. Yes, if you're waiting for a perfect moment, it's never going to show up. Again, I keep, this is true for everyone. It's like if you're waiting for things to be perfect, it's never going to happen. It's kind of like a weird time for time. Saturn will be moving into Aries in February. Saturn is time. It's like whenever Saturn is about to change signs or has been retrograde like it has or whatever, it's like it can be hard to like predict when we should do something or when we should get started. And so I feel like the time is now. Three of Swords, great card for healing. Again, Three of Swords can represent heartbreak or sadness, but it doesn't say that you should sit in heartbreak or sadness. It says you should do something about it, right? I always say tarot is action. It cracks me up when people leave comments saying, you said this was going to happen, nothing happened. Tarot isn't true. I'm like, yeah, it's not. Nothing just magically freaking happens. I make that very freaking clear in every single reading I do. So, yeah, nothing happens. People always leave that comment. Nothing happened with this reading. I'm like, yes, nothing happens. You have to happen. You have to be the one to make things happen. Nothing can magically happen. So, again, Three of Swords is an action. We can remove those swords from our own heart. Three of Swords is about forgiving the past and doing something to make that happen. So we have to forgive the past to remove those swords from our heart, and that's the only important part of the card. With the Hierophant, here you go. You have the Ten of Cups. Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of love here, Taurus, if you want it. So Ten of Cups is like happy home, happy family. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be attracting someone over the next few months. Ten of Cups is also, the Hierophant is making the symbol with his hand, and he is blessing these two people in front of him. And the Ten of Cups can be about, focusing on a blessing. They are celebrating these 10 cups. They are celebrating the blessings they already have. The Nine of Pentacles is about having gratitude, like expressing gratitude is the quickest way to attract better things into your life with the Nine of Pentacles. So I think doing that would be good. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like you need to believe that you can do something. Like I said, Queen of Cups, I feel the only thing you need to do is focus on yourself. Plain and simple with that card, which I feel like I said to you recently. The Knight of Pentacles, he's looking at an opportunity. He has this pentacle in his hand. He could easily plant that seed in the field behind him and it would grow. But he's the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move. So, I feel like it's time to plant those seeds. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about, yes, walking away from things that no longer serve you. Again, the castle in the background of the Ace of Wands is crumbling. So it's like the Eight of Cups, this guy here, he doesn't know if he's going to find fulfillment or not. He is walking away from something that did provide him with something. So it's like the castle still exists on the Ace of Wands. It can represent walking away from something that is like a comfort zone or something that supports you, but at the same time, it would be settling if you were to stay in your situation. So, it's definitely time to stop settling. With the Devil, you have the Ace of Pentacles here. Huge opportunity coming in for you. Sorry, I just messed this up. There could be a major opportunity coming in here. Like, the Devil... again, I think people are too dramatic sometimes with tarot as well. It's like the devil doesn't have to be something bad at all. Kind of the feeling I get off the devil in the Ace of Pentacles is it's like some of you might just be in a limiting situation. It's like maybe you have a job where it's like you've reached the top or you're not going to make any more money. And the Ace of Pentacles, and it's like maybe it's not a bad job, maybe it's fine, but maybe the Ace of Pentacles is saying like, hey, there's something like much, much bigger that you could go get, right? And that's kind of how I feel about that Ace of Pentacles. It's like it's the next logical step in your life to accept that opportunity. So, there you go. We're going to pull 5 main themes for these conjunctions that are happening between, again, the 6th and the 29th of January. You have this optimism card. This is from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, by the way. And so, yes, I mean, the whole entire reading basically talked about your, kind of like your mindset, how you feel about things, making sure to release negativity. So optimism, definitely good. Here you go. You have this riches card. Money looks very good in this reading here, Taurus. So I do feel like your financial situation is going to be changing like this year, right at the beginning of the year here. Does that mean you're going to have $1 million tomorrow? No, of course not. You're going to have to work for it. Sorry. But, if you put the work in, you definitely could be, changing your financial situation. Next, you have this adaptability card. Yes, Uranus moving into Gemini. It's like, I think the secret sauce for Taurus is maybe changing faster, right? Instead of developing a comfort zone, being willing to evolve, being willing to iterate, not getting stuck doing things one way, being more flexible, right? These are like hard things for fixed signs to be able to do, but, at the same time, I think you can do it. You have this lost card. This card is Saturn in Pisces. We have Saturn in Pisces right now. And so, again, Eight of Cups, Devil, it's like there could be something that you're releasing. The Eight of Cups, it's like he doesn't necessarily want to release those 8 cups, but he knows he's cheating himself out of something better, right? So that's kind of like what you might be releasing, and it fits in with the astrology. You have this domination card. Didn't I say you're coming out on top or something? I feel like I said something like that with the world card, but a lot of you could be dominating something at this time. But this looks really good, Taurus. Love it. Make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out, and definitely enjoy your month.